Hello everybody, welcome back. We are continuing our playthrough of the tournament round 1. It is now turn 23, and we just left off. We talked about turn 22, and there's wars everywhere. So here is Midgard pressing his advantage after his win last turn against TC. This is just a PD, but that's like an opening salvo of like 7 Thunderstrikes is just nasty. You gotta script very carefully against that. You gotta spread your guys out really well. Then we have Ulm. We catch Ulm attacking Agartha. So I had got wind of this attack, and it seems to have happened. This is just PD, but here we have a nice Ulmish army. There's a few wolves, but it's a bunch of crossbows behind these Weehanders, and even some infantry. Pretty nasty. I forget what his bless is, if anything, because he's got some secrets here. Decay weapons and undead leadership. So he's got some kind of just death, I guess. Sure. He takes friendly fire and kills his own wolves, which is typical. Okay, then Sitis marches forward, which is going to kill some PD here. And then this was some kind of mistake. This illusionist ran into this throne for some reason. Must have scripted wrong. Okay, and then we get more indie events. So we get... Oh, because somebody claimed the throne of Gaia. So we got Earth Gnomes here, and we got Centaurs here. So we got a lot of PD to deal with, which is really annoying. Okay, let's take a look just at this ongoing situation here in Midgard. So Agartha is trying to eat this throne. Agartha intended to conquer Midgard, but now he's being attacked on this side. You can see here and here by Ulm. So Agartha might have to redeploy a lot of his forces. Midgard seems... I don't know what, if anything, he has on this side, but he's doing perfectly well against Tianqi. Fortunately, he's got a massive lizard army coming up from the south. So that sucks for him. And in our territory... Oh, I must have missed this last turn, but in our territory... this throne that we were hoping to take, I was worried. I was putting all these scouts here because I thought TC might come and take it. No, Atlantis has taken it. So this was last turn. Actually, might have forgotten to show you guys this. So our plans are all for naught. Now, this turn we've decided we've got what we need to take on the trolls. I just put together a small army. You need enough meat to kind of take on some of the thugs there. We're pretty killy with these guys, so we'll be able to chew through their armor. But we're going to put up a small communion with flaming arrows and wind guide. We got the mages are there, so we'll just use them. This should be enough to take on these trolls. And then the turn after, we'll go clear this province back. This turn, we're going to take these earth elementals out with... we have an army here, so we'll just use it. And that is pretty much it. I'm making a trade with Patala for some more fire gems. And that is pretty much it. Sorry, I was looking over at the timer here, and it seems to have gone through this part of the turn really quickly. So let's I guess, talk about our research goals. We've gotten Alteration 4, so we have Wind Guide. And I've decided to push for Construction 6. And my thinking here is... So my choice is still to attack Sitis. But Sitis still has this big army here out in Midgard. And I want to have him have his big fight with Midgard. He might just win. So the risk is, if I wait for that, let's say he moves onto the cap, Midgard kind of retreats, whatever, and then he wins, he conquers Midgard, then he'll be stronger than he is now, and I'll have to fight a stronger enemy. However, the advantage of that is that nobody's going to begrudge me for fighting a stronger enemy who now has 2 capitals. and so people will be less inclined to sort of attack me, in revenge. They'd be much more likely to also help to attack him. So that's one thing. On the flip side, if he has a big fight and loses a lot, either he loses outright or just kind of wins the battle but takes a lot of casualties, then that weakens him and makes it easier for me to have my invasion go successfully. Plus, I've now finally built up this infrastructure, so I kind of feel more safe. So the timing is for that. So that means I have about 5 or 6 turns for research. My nap ends in 3 turns. We've got a few more turns to move armies around and to wait for this battle to happen. So the timing should be good for about 3-4 turns to maybe declare war, is what I'm thinking at this point. The other thing that I've done is I have switched recruitment to Magisters. First of all, Magisters are cheaper than Magister Arcanes. They are only 95 gold. 170 is pretty cheap. It's just that they're not sacred, so the upkeep is really killing me. But the reason is, first of all, I can't afford to recruit mages everywhere, to recruit Magister Arcanes everywhere, especially given that I'm trying to get all my infrastructure up. You see I'm gradually starting to build temples. I've put a temple up here so that I can finally start recruiting these nature mages. I'm just going to get a couple. These guys are going to be to do some basic nature 1 site searching. But we're recruiting Magisters because, so the Magisters are pretty interesting. They have this for their paths. So some of them have no magic paths. Some of them could be Earth, Air, Astral. There's a decent chance at each one. Most of these are actually somewhat useful. Earth 1 alone is pretty useless, but in combination with anything else, it's useful. Earth Air is useful, if only for crafting. Anybody who just has Air 1 is useful because with Storm Up, he can do Air Power, Air 2, and then he can do Lightning Bolts. And obviously anybody with Astral is useful because that's a communion. So these are actually not useless in a fight. But most importantly, I'm recruiting them because they have a siege bonus. And, they also happen to be spies. They happen to be masons. You're paying a lot for these extra things that you don't necessarily need. And they're stealthy. So actually not a really nice mage. So the guys that have no paths at all, I'm just going to send out into the world as spies. We're going to figure out which ones are which. And then after that, we'll send them to enemy capitals to do some spy stuff. But the reason I'm getting all these guys is because Satis is recruiting tons of chaff, and while my troops have, not these guys have castle defense bonus, I don't necessarily have a ton of siege strength. So these mages each are going to contribute an additional 15 to the siege bonus, plus they're just useful mages. So I'm going to recruit a whole bunch of them so that when I do declare war, I'll be able to 1-turn pop all of these forts no matter how much useless chaff they have inside them. Okay, let's load up turn number 23. Okay, let's look at more of... Wait, is this the same? Wait, that was turn 23. Then what turn did I just show you guys? We were on turn 23. Sorry. Let's load up turn 24. Yes, you should all have face-palmed with me right then. Okay, magic sites, we got some gems. Yes, okay. Oh, this is just Earth Elementals. Yeah, we're just going to kill these guys. Nothing to see here. This was the battle against the D&D party. So we got a little communion going up. Wind Guide. This guy lands here, so I packed my guys pretty densely because I know that he's going to come and attack rear or whatever. So I just didn't want him to murder my mages right off the bat. So he's landed in a perfect spot, surrounded by wardens. This is exactly where I wanted him. Meanwhile, these guys were shooting in the back, but importantly, we're going to have flaming arrows soon. And these guys are tough, but they're all susceptible to fire because they are trolls. And this guy has like no hit points, so he might just die to like a crossbow bolt. Let's see. Okay, flaming arrows has gone off. This guy's got really high defense, but he's starting to get harassed down a little bit. Here come the flaming arrows. All right, we've missed another volley. Have we hit this guy yet? I think we have hit him once. He doesn't have a lot of hit points, so only a few hits need to land, really. All right, still not landing anywhere. This guy's just going to get surrounded by dudes, I think. Oh, these are just the longbowmen that are still shooting, yeah. Oh, 8. Got 1 hit point left. Come on, you can do it. We got 1 hit on this guy. Not enough to kill him. Finally, somebody scored another hit on this guy. So this is going to free up these guys to finally do something useful with their lives, like shoot somebody. This guy here is just tanking the shit out of everybody because he's got 27 protection and a Wraith Sword, which, you know, regenerates. However, somebody hit him because he has no defense, and so he's decaying. Unfortunately, his max age is really high. So he's just gonna keep chopping one of our guys each turn, basically, with 22 attack and 51 damage. So we just lose 1 guy per turn here until we can focus our DPS on him. Let's see what happens here. Flaming arrows against a guy who's susceptible to fire. He is taking a lot of damage. Where do these guys decide to go next, I wonder? More hits. Okay, we killed the Earth Astral Mage. This guy, incidentally, has been afflicted by... Somebody cast a spell. One of my mages here, I think, cast Sulfur Haze. So my mages here are, you know, contributing. Of course, yeah, do like an AoE fire spell right on top of all our dudes. Flaming arrows, 13 hit points. Yeah, that's... Did you see that volley? That's what we wanted. So these guys just ran up into like point blank range and all fired their crossbows into this guy. And then in a huge alpha strike, we just murdered him. Let's take a look at how that went down. Bogus the Troll Raider. So we see, if we look here... He's repelling a ton, then he gets hit, but he has such high protection that he gets hit for like 0 damage each time. And when he replies, he just one-shots dudes, and any chip damage he would take regenerates because of the sword has a life-stealing, right? So just 0 points, 0 points, 0 points of damage, 0 points of damage. And then this was the final attack, okay? The final turn. So... Warden, nothing. And then here come the crossbows. Warden hit with a crossbow in the head. Oh, that's nice. 8 points of damage. And then, so here's a regular damage. Here's the fire damage. Another guy, 4 damage. So this is adding up the normal and the fire damage. So we have 1 plus 3 from the fire. This is just the flaming arrows, by the way, right? And then, and notice, so this is why AP is so important, right? Armor piercing. So this guy, this is a warden who hit with a great sword. The damage on the great sword is 24, which is huge, right? But this guy has 27 protection. So the DRN, unless you get lucky on the DRN, you do no damage, right? This guy just shoots him with a crossbow. The crossbow does 12 points of damage with DRN, but his prot is only 10 because I think he doesn't... Oh, and I was thinking, why is the prot so low? Because he got hit in the head. If we look at here, he gets hit in the leg. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's only 10 in the body. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's only actually being 10, because if his prot was 27, half of that should be 13. It's as if these are flipped. Anyways, you get the idea though. Even with 27 prot, if it's AP, oh no, it's not 50%, it's 40% because it's also piercing damage. That's why. So 27 gets turned down to 10, and then you just get chip damage, and then of course we get the extra fire damage. So here we go, Warden, fire, another guy, 2 points, 9 points, 3 points, 1 point, 6 point, 1 point, 22 points. Just one volley of crossbows just takes this guy out completely. Excuse me, another cough. Okay, let's watch the rest of this. So now these guys, are they going to move forward or they're just going to do arrows? Looks like we just shoot arrows until they run away. Which is too bad because we didn't get a shot at getting those items. So we did get a few items. We got the Whore Helmet, Cat Charm, Rainbow Armor, Braces of Protection, and Greenstone Armor, and Precious. So not bad, and we only lost 10 defenders for that. So we sacrificed a few dudes and got a bunch of items. Not bad at all. Okay, Agartha. Oh, this guy's pretty badass. A few turns ago, there was a arena fight that nobody sent anybody to except Agartha, and he won. And so now he's got this badass thug who's got 18 hit points, 20 protection, 23 defense. He's ethereal, flying, lucky. This thing gives it quickness. Nasty thug. So he's just going to go in here. He actually takes a few hits. Oh, and he's got heroic... heroic quickness. Although this thing already gives him quickness. Anyways. Just murders everybody. Good for him. And he takes on this fort and then takes some pity. Then we have unexpected events, whatever. Okay. So we have reclaimed this province. We're going to clear out these satyrs. We are site searching with our nature mages. We are moving troops into position, recruiting stuff, building everything we can. We're starting to we're forging a few items here as we get our first hammers. I guess I forgot to equip a hammer and make something with it this turn. We are now, we're making our own earth boots. I want to use this to do a bit of better earth site searching. Most of my provinces are site searched only with one earth. On my earth 2 dudes, I could put boots and make them earth 3 and site search much better with that. And then we're just going to pile a bunch of mages here with hammers and start pooping out war bows and lanterns and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to end the recording here because I've got a bit of a cough and that's making recording a bit annoying. And we will catch up in a short while when I no longer have this cough and can record for more than an hour on end without having to pause. So anyways, I'll see you guys then. Take care.